impromptu stream. We got a large wildfire going on in southern Colorado. It's the 24 fire. And I'm just gonna pan it the other way and show you what's going on with this. This is honestly really crazy. Can't believe that we're already seeing wildfires. It's March and the weather's acting like June. It's really hot today. It's 86 degrees right now. It's 7% humidity. And we've got, well, sustained winds of 10 to 20 miles per hour. But yeah, this is pretty darn sketchy. I got no chat up. I'm just doing this from my phone. But actually, there's a plane up there that's getting ready to do a drop. It looks like. Yeah, there's definitely an aircraft over there that's getting ready to do either a water or a retardant drop. Those of you just tuning in, this is the 24 fire in southern Colorado. It's just the southwest of Colorado Springs. As of 10 a.m. this morning, the fire was 1,067 acres with 0% containment. And then when noon hit, we started getting winds. Over where I live, it was like 20-mile-an-hour winds. Over there, it's probably stronger because it's up in the mountains. But yeah, this thing is definitely spreading. This is the smokiest I've seen it in the last 3 days. This did start on Thursday. But yeah, this is as close as I can get to it. The Highway 115 is closed about 5 miles away from it. And I don't really know any other routes to get anywhere closer. Not that I want to be closer, because if you're coming in from the west towards it, you are directly in the path of it because we have westerly winds. Or sorry, if you're coming from the east to the west, you're definitely in the path of it, especially as the winds start to pick up this afternoon. But yeah, I could see the plume from my house. Seeing a lot of the dark smoke up close, but I'm far enough to where I'm not seeing the flames, but I can't get any closer than this. Here, I'm gonna pull up chat on my other phone so I can see who all is here. Search me. View channel. There we are. What's up, Sprinkles? Great to see you. Yeah, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. This definitely won't be an exciting stream. I'm just gonna be chilling in this church's parking lot. And it's a wildfire. I am sitting right across from Fort Carson, which I can't remember if that's an Army or an Air Force base, but I can't get onto it, even as a veteran. Yeah, this is the first time I've gone live in a really long time. I'm sorry about that, guys. I got a job, so chances are that I'm probably going to be streaming on a more part-time basis this year, but I do plan to get out there, especially when setups fall on weekends, or if we get anything close range in like eastern Colorado or Nebraska or western Kansas after work, because I can typically get off of work at 3 o'clock, so that gives me 5 to 6 hours of chase time. But you know, for the next couple of weeks, it's looking dead out there. We're getting June type weather here. It's 87 degrees, 7% humidity. Is like our dews are like 2 or 3 degrees. It's absurd. Yeah, I wouldn't normally stream this, but it's like I said earlier, it's been a long time since I've done it, and I got to get back in the habit of doing it again before storm season starts. Hey Raul, I have to admit I don't speak any Spanish, so I have no idea what that says, but yeah. I'm not even I'm not even gonna try. I can't copy it and paste it into a translator, but I really appreciate you being here nonetheless. But yeah, this fire is it's approximately 13 miles southeast of where I live in Colorado Springs on the south side. I have no idea where the actual fire is. I just see the smoke from here, but this highway that I'm next to, it's just over to the left. Highway 115 is completely closed off. So I can't get any closer than I am now. But it's absolutely insane that this is already happening, because we don't typically get our wildfires in Colorado until like summertime, early fall. But we had a record low snowpack this year. And then in Colorado Springs, we had under 20 inches of snow for the entire winter, which severely impacts our climate, which severely impacts our water supply. Supposedly, we have a 3-year supply of drinking water, which is decent. It's not the best, but without that snowpack this year, that's going to be severely impacted. And we just haven't had much precipitation in the last 5 months, and that's ultimately what's fueling this wildfire weather. But yeah, I just wanted to make it a thing to go live and offer another perspective to what's been shown on the news, which is very little from what I've seen. So this dead ahead is the 24 fire, which I'm assuming is like Highway 24. Yeah, it's way too early. Like this is typically when we see, between February and June is when we typically see the bulk of our precipitation, and we haven't had any. We had a couple of dustings of snow this year, but under 20 inches of snow for the entire winter is absurd. We typically see closer to 90 or 100 inches in our average winter. And what's very concerning is these mountains over here. They are typically snow capped this time of year, and there isn't any snow. Yeah, and that's saying a lot, because New Mexico is semi-arid. It's kind of a desert. Oh, real quick, it looks like we have over here, we got a plane that's getting ready to drop some water. Here, I'm just gonna sit this here, and as soon as I see that plane come out from behind this tree, I'm going to zoom in on it for you. All right. There it is. You can see it at the top of your screen. Oop, sorry guys. Very curious to see if he's gonna drop anything. He might be too high for that. Less than 8 inches of snow. That's crazy. Yeah, our June upslope is going to be inexistent this year. I would not be surprised if we have single-digit tornadoes for the entire year. Which is unfortunate because where we typically get tornadoes, it's uninhabited, so it's something that we can actually root for. But yeah, it doesn't look like we're gonna have much of that activity this year, just because of how dry it's been. We don't have any moisture here. Hey Don, great to see you. Let me see if I can find an update real quick on the 24 fire. Last update was 3 hours ago via news. So these flames are actually like right over that ridge on the other side. And we now have westerly winds, so all this smoke and fire and whatnot is getting pushed to the east. Also wonder if I can get closer to it via 25 south. But that's also several miles east of here, so I think this might be one of the better vantage points I can find here. Yeah, I'm not seeing an update anywhere. Let's see. Here's a map of it. Updated 21 minutes ago, east of Highway 115, between mile marker 24 and 25. I got up to mile marker 29, and that's where they closed it off. It is up to 1,128 acres as of 20 minutes ago, which means it hasn't grown much, but now that these winds are starting to push in, it's probably gonna grow a little bit more rapidly. Curious about the wind forecast. Red flag warning. Winds out of the west from 20 to 30 miles per hour with gusts up to 45. Not the craziest winds, but it's still enough to spread this thing. Relative humidity 4 to 10%. It's extremely dry. And temperatures from the mid 80s to low 90s. Which where I'm sitting right now, it's 87 degrees. Let me pull out the anemometer real quick and just get a reading on what our winds look like right now. Hey Abby, great to see you. Hey Justin, awesome seeing you guys. Wish it was under better circumstances and we had actual storms to chase, but unfortunately it's this this 24 fire in southern Colorado. This is just across from Fort Carson. All right, I'm gonna get a gauge on this wind. It's probably only gonna be like 5 miles an hour. Six, 7, yeah. 6 or 7, Jesus. There's 10. So at least down here, we're only getting 5 to 10 mile an hour winds, but up at those higher elevations where that fire is, they're probably looking at 20 to 30 miles an hour. How is Paige doing? Paige is doing good. I just talked to her earlier today. She's doing good. She and I aren't in a relationship anymore, but we're still friends. So, but she's doing well. It's good to hear. Yeah, they've been working on this fire for 3 days now. It started on Thursday afternoon. On Thursday evening, they had it about 50% contained, and then they lost containment on it yesterday. So it's been back at 0% containment since yesterday afternoon, which is unfortunate to hear. But yeah, this is the hottest day of the year so far. It's 87 degrees where I'm sitting right now. It's probably closer to 90 degrees where the blaze is going on. It's 88 degrees there. Wow. Yeah, Reed posted about an hour and a half ago saying it reached 100 degrees where he's at in Oklahoma. That's June weather. We're sitting here in March and that's June weather. The only thing missing with the June weather is June is when we typically get our severe storms. And it's just been so damn dry here that, we can't even get a cloud to form. Like, we got high clouds. I don't know how those are forming. Let me fix this real quick. The good thing for this community that I'm sitting next to is that they are out of the path of this fire. Should only be so we're looking due south right now. It should just creep from east to west. Or sorry, west to east. Because the winds are out of the west, so pushing eastward. Yeah, not really seeing a whole lot of aircraft activity. Not seeing them dumping water much, but I'm also far enough away from this to where I can't see the flames, so I can't see any of the ground operation. Yeah, we're definitely turning into a desert here. Is extremely dry. We do get a lot of precipitation during the spring and summer, and a lot during the winter, but the way that it's been this year, it's been extremely arid. Very low humidity throughout the first 3 months of the year. And we've only had a couple of instances where we've gotten some rain. But I'm pretty sure our total precipitation for the year is under an inch. Oh yeah, you can definitely see the black smoke coming in over here. California should be good on wildfires this year. I mean, y'all had some crazy precipitation this winter. A lot of those droughts have subsided. You got plenty of drinking water, no water restrictions. The entirety of the state is green. Seeing the satellite view of California from January was insane. Oh my gosh, what? This fire might have just blown up. That big cloud of black smoke just blew up. Might be catching some stronger winds now. I think another reason why we're not getting stronger winds here is because we got this wall of mountains just to my west that's blocking a lot of that wind flow. But over there on those peaks, it's that fire is definitely exposed to the winds. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Fort Carson is. I can't remember if it's Air Force or if it's Army. But either way, I don't think that I can. I don't think that I can get on base as a veteran. I don't have a veteran's ID. Wow, what the heck is going on over there? That just blew up. It's an Army base. Thank you so much for that, Jacqueline. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Just a little bit. But yeah, I went live direct to YouTube. I didn't really think to set up a remote stream because, well, because I'm an idiot. No, I honestly didn't think I was going to stream any of this, and then, you know, I got closer to it, and it's oh boy. All this black smoke, I think, is new fuels getting ignited. Hey, Julie, great to see you. I'm going to see what Patrick just texted me. Haboob reported near Loveland. I guess Patrick's gonna go chase a dust storm up in northern Colorado. I guess the winds might have gotten strong enough to kick up a wall of dirt and dust. So he's gonna go haboob chasing. Also, apparently up there it's 101.8 degrees with 10% humidity, and that's up in Loveland. I also think that his sensor is directly in the sunlight, so so he might have to put that under some shade. These dark plumes are just rushing up. Ha ha ha, boob. It's such a goofy word, haboob. Ha boob. Like, man, this is crazy. There's a tanker jet that keeps circling this, but he's definitely too high up to drop water or retardant on it. Way too high. From what I understand, they're only, you know, a few hundred feet off of the ground when they dump that. But yeah, it's that aircraft is flying right in front of that dark plume right now. It'll be really concerning if this does end up jumping Highway 115. Well, let me pull up chat on my iPad. Yeah, let me do that. Yeah, it looks like he just that aircraft went beyond it. There we go. Now I can use my phone. I I honestly think that the 24 fire just it started on Highway 24. That's the only thing that I can think of. But I could be totally wrong, and there could be a city called 24, which I don't know why it would be called 24, but I don't know. Or maybe it's mile marker 24. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how they I don't know how they name these. Actually, let me okay. Now I can tell you why. So the fire is east of Highway 115 between mile marker 24 and 25. So it's that 24 fire probably corresponds to the mile marker 24 on Highway 115. That's that's my guess. I definitely don't know. Um, this is really crazy. The first thing when I woke up this morning, all I could smell was smoke. Here comes another tanker. I'm gonna focus on that real quick. It's a dishwasher. It's not it's not blowing too terribly bad. Um, our official wind forecast for today was 20 to 30 miles per hour sustained with gusts to 45. Um, right here where I'm at, I measured the winds about 25 minutes ago, and we were just looking at 5 to 10 miles per hour sustained. It seems to have picked up a little bit, but not terribly much. But these winds are out of the west, so this fire is being blown to the east. All right. I've lost sight of that tanker, so I'm going to zoom back out and put you guys back in the mount. But actually, I'll go ahead and sample that wind real quick, just to give you an actual. Ten, 12. Yeah, so right now the winds, at least at my location, are sustained between 8 and 13 miles per hour. So it's nothing terribly crazy. Let's see if I can get an official reading on the temperature too. Yep. The wind's definitely picking up though. You just had a gust of 17.3 miles per hour. 21, 23. These wind gusts are definitely not helping the situation. All right. So for a minute there, we had winds kind of keeping steady between 8 and 13 miles per hour, and then we had a gust come through that pushed it between 20 and 25 miles per hour. So the winds are definitely there, and at that higher elevation where that fire is sitting right now, those winds are probably even stronger, probably 30, 35 miles per hour up there, if not a little bit stronger. So I'm sure that's why you had that big dark plume of smoke come up just now. Those wind gusts starting to hit those flames. God, I can't even speak today. Sorry. John Johnson, great to see you, buddy. Love your work. Oh boy. Yeah, no, we didn't have any winter. We had less than 20 inches of snow in Colorado Springs this year. I'm hearing northeastern Colorado had under 10 inches. It's going to be a really bad year for fires. And the fact that it's starting this early in March, I mean, our fire season is typically over, over the summer between, I don't know, July and December. Summer, fall, early winter. Um, the Marshall Fire that happened back in 2021, December of 2021. It was ended December. It was just before New Year's. Yep. Here's that tanker. Tanker is coming right here. Here, I'm gonna step out. That's that tanker aircraft that I've been seeing going to and from the fire. Oh, there's another one. Oh yeah. Yep, they're both tanker aircraft. Both of them are definitely working that fire. Yeah, all that dark smoke you're seeing is the fire hitting new fuels. When I first pulled up to it, it was a lot of white smoke, which meant that that the crews out there have been putting out a lot of it. But as this fire hits new fuels, it starts that the smoke gets darker. There's also two more tankers heading southbound towards that fire. So there's 4 aircraft that I've seen that have been working this thing. Hell yeah, Justin. That'll be perfect. You know what you should do with that? You should get an indoor bracket for it and just mount it on your windshield down in the bottom right. That way it's not exposed to the elements. It gets clear signal upward. I noticed this year that it was actually working in some small hail. Like we were getting quarter size hail and there was no interference whatsoever. So also got a cracked windshield. If you guys can't notice, that's I'm leaving it that way until I go through a hailstorm and really ding it up, and then I'm gonna get it replaced. Oh, I'm gonna snap a picture. Uh-oh. Well, I hope they don't start including this community. I thought this community was good to go. The crackhead's character, yeah. Yes, it does. Hopefully we can split that crack even larger and more more expansive. Hopefully we can get into a decent hailstorm this year before I go and get it replaced. Because I won't replace it like this. That crack is completely out of my field of view when I'm driving. So unless the structural integrity of this starts failing, I'm just not gonna worry about it. There's that first tanker again. I'm really only so I hit mile marker 29. I'm really only 4 or 5 miles away from this thing. It won't come up north at all though, so I'm in a decent spot. Should all just push east from here, from right to left. I don't know how long I'm going to keep this live, but I figured I'd offer a live perspective of it from the closest I can get to it. Since there isn't really a whole lot of news coverage on this right now. I miss severe storms. Hell, I miss rain. Andy, what's up, buddy? Great to see you, man. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that, John. That's. I haven't had the opportunity to go live since I did a test run in December, um, and then my last storm chase was uh, late October when we hit Fort Stockton, which was a bust. I didn't have any tornadoes after August 15th. But yeah, I don't really have a whole lot of opportunities to stream now that I'm working again. Um, most of my streams this year are going to be on weekends or they're going to be after work. But I'm really starting to think that our shorter range chases aren't going to exist this year because of how dry it's been. We're going to have that lack of June upslope. So what's up, Grifter? Great to see you, man. Adjust this. I'm hoping that April does start to trend upwards soon. Last I checked, there was nothing on the long range supercell composite. And for this week, there's that small spot in southern Indiana and southern Ohio. And then Monday is probably going to be a Pittsburgh and central Pennsylvania area chase. But the long range really isn't showing much. Week 2, week 3, slight chances of supercells just in the central plains. Well, there's a little spike in southeastern South Dakota, like Watertown area. Bunch of white smoke getting kicked up there, so I think one of the tankers just dumped some water over there. Let's see, 24 fire in Colorado map. Oh yeah, they haven't updated this for an hour, not since the last one I read out, but it's 1,128.3 acres with no containment. And it's in Pueblo, Fremont, and El Paso counties. El Paso County is where Colorado Springs is. But it's at least 10 miles south and east of Colorado Springs. So that area is not in any danger here. But we do have a red flag warning in effect for winds sustained between 20 and 30 miles per hour with gusts up to 45 miles per hour. Relative humidity of 4 to 10%, and temperatures from the upper 80s to mid 90s. This is one of a few fires in southern Colorado right now, but if any other fires ignite anywhere else, they'll spread pretty quickly given the conditions, especially up in the northern part of the state right now. If there's a haboob ongoing in Greeley right now, then there could easily be a fast spreading fire up there alongside it. But yeah, most of Colorado has enacted a fire ban at the highest level. No campfires, no fireworks. Hell, even grills are being frowned upon right now. Yeah, I'm sure that's happening as these tanker aircraft are dumping either water or fire retardant over the fire. These big plumes of white smoke is where you're seeing that water hitting the fire and evaporating and putting out some of the flames. But then you see these big plumes of dark smoke come up behind it. There seems to be a lot of people wanting to come up here to my spot. Welcome back, Sprinkles. But yeah, as we see more and more of those plumes of white smoke, that's definitely a good sign. But then over to the right of it, you can definitely see orange mixed in with that plume of white smoke coming up on the right, and there's definitely flames in that. These crews have been hard at work the last 3 days trying to contain this thing. On Thursday, they had it to 50% containment, and then they lost that on Friday. Friday ended up being an extremely dry day, with relative humidity under 5%. But the winds were calm yesterday, so it didn't spread much. They just they just had a really difficult time battling the flames because that water doesn't last. Once it hits the flames, once it's in that low humidity, it's going to evaporate so quickly. But yeah, now you're starting to see those dark plumes come back up after those water drops. And that's a sign that the fire is spreading. I'm going to sample the wind real quick. It is calm. There's no wind. It's like a calm breeze. Oh, there's a gust. That just peaked at 13 miles an hour. $13.2. 16.1. So again, this is more of a ground level observation. That elevation over there is probably 1,000 feet higher than here, so the winds are probably stronger. But I just had a peak wind gust here of 16.1 miles per hour, which doesn't seem like much, but it's enough to move this fire. Yeah, those guys have been hard at work 24 hours a day the last 3 days. The work that they've been doing has kept this contained to the west of Highway 115. I saw some images earlier of them of those firefighting crews igniting blazes right along Highway 115 to eliminate those dry fuels out ahead of the fire. That's in a more controlled environment, so if it starts getting out of control, they'll just spray it down with water and put it out. But they're killing a lot of the vegetation out ahead of it, so it should not jump Highway 115. At least that's what the hope is. Yeah, I'm not seeing as many of those darker plumes kicking up, so that's definitely a good sign. There's a tanker right there on the horizon that clearly just did a drop. I'm gonna walk to the other side of this parking lot real quick to see if I have a better vantage point on the other side of this tree to my left. Give me 1 second. Oh, 20.1 miles per hour winds. Getting some stronger gusts now. Yeah, I'm gonna reposition on the other side of this parking lot real quick. Bear with me. I will have a much better view and I won't be 2 inches away from driving into a ditch. Yeah, I know. All right, that's better. There we go. That's an unobstructed view. I guess the only thing that's in the way right now is this this water tower. But can't do anything about that. It was on the other side of the parking lot. I had that leaning pole and a tree and the water tower as well, all blocking the view, but this is better. So I'm actually right next to Fort Carson, the Army base, which puts me just on just to the southeast of Colorado Springs. Let me see what my official location is here. Technically, well, WeatherBug says I'm in Colorado Springs. Let me just see real quick. Yeah, I'm just to the southwest of Fort Carson, due west of Fountain. And there's what is this? Butts AAF Airfield is reporting a dew point of negative 11 degrees Fahrenheit and an air temperature of 88 degrees with due west winds of 21 miles per hour sustained and gusts to 29 miles per hour. See you later, Abby. Thanks for stopping by. I am in the Rock Creek district. Thank you for clarifying that, Malfoy. Really appreciate that. I don't often get around Colorado Springs, and I, don't often come to, this side of town, but I really appreciate that. But yeah, you can definitely see this. You can see the smoke on reflectivity on radar to the southwest of Fountain. I think that's only like, hold on, let me see. What the heck? Oh, that's not it. Yeah, so that reflectivity spike is just 12 miles to my southwest. The only road that there is to get to where this fire is Highway 115. And it's literally blocked a quarter of a mile ahead of me. I think I'm gonna stay live until sunset. I'm sure the smoke's gonna die down quite a bit by that point, but I still got a couple of hours before the sun starts going down. Flight radar is showing 2 aircraft circling the fire, which I would say are directing the tankers. Gotcha. That makes sense. I was seeing those 2 aircraft that were just kind of doing circles around the smoke plume, and then these other 2 tankers are going back and forth between a reservoir and the fire. So I don't think that they're dropping fire retardant anymore. I think they're just dropping water. Curious as to which reservoir they're hitting. It's got to be a really cool thing to see live, because they'll fly all the way down to the surface of the water, and they'll graze it, and they'll capture some of the water in their tank, and then they'll get back up to cruising altitude, and then they'll fly over and do what I refer to it as kind of like out in Afghanistan, our fighter aircraft, when they come in and do their bombing runs. Well, I guess not in Afghanistan anymore, but back when we were deployed out there, they would fly down to anywhere between 500 feet and 1,000 feet, and then they'd drop their payload, and then they'd immediately ascend again. But these are tankers. These are big, heavy aircraft. It's crazy that they touch the surface of the water, and then they don't slow down. They just keep going, and then they take off again. I've never seen it live, but I would love to see it. I just have no idea where these tankers are getting their water from. So Fortunately, I won't be able to capture that. Yeah. They can absolutely fly in these winds. They're not incredibly strong. Um, like some days out here, we'll get winds over 100 miles an hour. I'd assume that they wouldn't be able to fly in that, but right now the peak winds are right up at 45 miles per hour, which is fine. That's um, when that's like minor turbulence. But yeah, all these plumes of white smoke going up are definitely a good sign. But you're also seeing these darker plumes behind it, so um, they're definitely attacking this thing. They're definitely hitting a lot of spots that are actively burning. Let me see if they've updated. Um, yeah, no, they still haven't updated on watch duty. So there's a level 3 evacuation order within 2 miles of Highway 115 and County Road F45. There's a level 2 evacuation warning within 2 to 3 miles of that same location. Um, from Brush Hollow Reservoir, let's see. Brush Hollow Reservoir. That reservoir is 20 miles from here to the southwest. Oh yeah, something I do want to update you guys on is I got a new action camera for chasing this year. I got a DJI Osmo Action 6, the leading action cameras at the moment, which I'm sure give it a few months and either DJI or a competitor is going to release something even better, but that's how cameras go these days. But in addition to what I'm streaming, I'm also going to have better quality content to post. But yeah, no, if I were to drive to that reservoir, it would take me an hour and 15 minutes. Because I'd have to do a whole circle, drive down I-25, then drive west on Colorado 50. I'd essentially have to take a whole loop around to get to Penrose, which if this highway wasn't blocked off, it would take me about 20-25 minutes to get there. So unfortunately, I won't be able to capture the tankers going in for their going into get their water. Hopefully somebody on the south side will capture that though, because I think it's a really cool process how they do that. It's close to 20 sustain right now. You're east of the oh gosh, that's not where you want to be. Is not where you want to be when you've got winds out of the due west. But I'm sitting let's see. I want to get an accurate read. Super scooper. God, that is so cool. If any of you guys are following me on Twitter, I'm going to repost this. Looks like Colorado Emergency Management posted that video. Hey, you hate to see the fires, but this is actually a really cool video. Max's post, the hottest temperature in the history of March, the United States has been set at 112 degrees in Yuma, Arizona. That's crazy. I actually got stationed there a couple of times for when I went out to weapons tactics and instructor course back in 2011. I went in April and October. And it's super hot out there during that time. Every single day, the temperature is, over 100 degrees, potentially gets into the 110s. But the nights get super cold. Well, relatively speaking, temperatures are typically between 50 and 60 degrees at nighttime. We get those crazy temperature fluctuations here too. I went out to the bar last night, and it's kind of a weird place for me to be because I don't drink, but the temperature dropped down to 50 degrees, and now today temperatures in the 90s. This is a massive swing. Okay, that's why the winds are increasing, is because we have a cold front that's going to push through tonight. So we're getting westerly winds right now, and once that cold front pushes through, they'll be out of the northwest, which will push this to the southeast. Holy crap. Matthew Manillo, another Colorado storm chaser, just posted that there's a 114-degree dew point depression at Fort Carson a with a temperature of 86 degrees and a dew point of negative 26 degrees. That's absurd. It's so dry out here. Yeah, flight radar is awesome. I I was watching that flight radar the day that the U.S. and Israel went to bomb Iran. Seeing the KC-135 Strato tankers out there. Those are large tanker aircraft that help to refuel fighter planes and other planes in the area of operations. So typically, when you see a KC-135 over an active war zone, they're typically accompanied by F-22s, F-35s, and if they still use them, FA-18s. I don't think that they still use them though, because that's what the F-35 was designed to replace. That and the AV-8 Bravo Harriers. Lots and lots of white smoke though, so that's definitely a good sign. I hope that's how this trends over the next couple of hours. Hopefully they get containment on this thing. Oh my God. Kane Decker, hey, how you doing? Thanks for joining the stream. Just for reference as to how close to Fort Carson I am, Fort Carson is literally right there. That's the Army base. And the fire is approximately 8 miles to the southwest of Fort Carson. Yeah, there's a pretty decent sized fire. I'm assuming it's around 1,100 acres right now. It's called the 24 fire, like the number 24, which I think is derived from where this fire ignited. It's mile marker 24, between mile marker 24 and 25 on Highway 115, which I am just off of right now. I'm on mile marker 29 on Highway 115, which a quarter of a mile further south, it's completely blocked off. So I can't get any closer than I am right now, unless I drive all the way around and down to Penrose. And I really don't know how close I'd be able to get to it over there. Oh, fire crews have been on this for the last 3 days. They've been working so hard at getting this thing under control. This fire ignited on Thursday, and they were on it almost immediately. They had 50% containment on Thursday, and then by Friday afternoon, they had lost all containment on it, and it expanded to over 1,000 acres. But I keep checking watchduty.org to see if there's any updates on this fire, but the last update came about 2 hours ago. And 2 hours ago, it had 0% containment. There was a 1,128.3 acres burned. And see, there's another dark plume over there. So, as these tankers are dropping water on some of these hot spots, there are other spots that are going up and burning new fuels, which is why you're starting to see color in that smoke again. I don't think that the winds are going to be strong enough for fire nados or any of that. Yeah, it doesn't look good. But yeah, from what I understand, there are 2 tankers that keep going between. Sorry, what was that reservoir again? Brush Hollow Reservoir. So there's 2 tankers that keep going back and forth between the reservoir and this fire. And then there's another 2 aircraft circling the fire right now that are guiding those water drops. I appreciate your help with all of that, Justin. I so some of these resources that you're citing are just things that I didn't even bother to check on before I came out. So some of them I didn't even know existed until today. But that flight radar tracker, that's really cool. That's really cool to watch. But I highly doubt that I'm going to see any flames from here. Hey, Patrick. What's up? You got a job? Oh, hell yeah, dude. Congrats. That man, that was a really long job search, man. It's in Missouri. Oh, scheisse, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm actually pretty jealous that you got that gig and that you're probably gonna move out there. That's awesome. I would have loved to have moved out there this year, but unfortunately, with my job search, I didn't get anything until a week before my lease was going to end. So I ended up having to sign another lease here in Colorado Springs. So I'll be here for another year. But Missouri is an area that I'm targeting to move to next year. Yeah, I'm so stoked for you, man. I know how frustrating that job search was for you, especially when you almost had that one gig a few months ago, and then they backed out at the last minute. That was one of the crazier stories I heard of a job search. But I'm so glad that search has come to an end and you finally locked something down. I'm stoked for you, man. I kind of figured that you'd end up with a casino again. Locations in Grand Island, Ogallala, and then Davenport, Iowa, Wichita, and Centerville, Illinois. Wow, that's awesome. So what? You get discounted stays at those locations? Oh yeah, oh yeah. It, on our Hyannis day, the Bingham Ashby tornado, Ogallala was where I was sitting until that blip appeared on radar. That's definitely envious of that, especially if you get to go to those sites um, while working, because after work you just jet away from them and you're already in tornado country. I'm jealous, man. Sweet. Dude, I'm stoked. I'm stoked for what that means for your chase seasons ahead. Now all you need to do is get Starlink and you'll be good to go. Your channel will boom again. I would get a Starlink Mini now, while it's still cheap, I think the dish is only 150 bucks right now, but they're getting ready to raise those prices. From what I hear, uh, the router mini is going through a 150% increase in price. I don't know what that means for the Starlink mini, the dish itself, but I would definitely get on top of that sooner than later, because you don't want that to jump in price, especially not 150%, because that'll put it up at what, 375 bucks if it's 150 right now. Let me just confirm that for you. Starlink mini. If you buy it through Starlink, it's 250 bucks. Home Depot 250. Yeah. Okay, so it's $250 right now. So you definitely don't want to get caught by 150% increase, because that'll bring it up to 625 bucks. And when I originally bought the Starlink mini, it was 500 bucks. I was sad because like a year later they have that price, but I'm glad I got it when I did, because it came in so clutch all throughout last chase season. So there's no regrets there in buying it when I did. What is that? There's like an orange glow in that plume over there. I definitely don't think that the flames are reaching that high, but you're renting the house one for 120 and the mini for 80. Does that also, is that inclusive of the price for internet service? Because if so, that's really good. A water NATO? You mean a water spout? You definitely don't want spinning winds anywhere near this fire, because even if you had the water content of a water spout, you'd have the winds protruding from this thing that will just push that fire in all directions. You definitely don't want that. What we really need is some rain. And unfortunately, there's no rain in the forecast for the next 10 days. We're looking at temperatures in the 70s and 80s for the next 10 days, and there's no sign of any rain to come. But on the plus side, towards the end of this 10-day period, the dew points will come back up into the 30s, which doesn't seem like much, but when you have negative 26-degree dew points right now during this fire weather, that increase of 56 degrees is pretty substantial. And it'll make it a lot more difficult for these fires to form or spread. Yeah, that's crazy. Aurora went to water restrictions. Down here, I saw the talk about it. So with the limited snowpack that we got this year, we have 3 years worth of drinking water. Um, there aren't any bans on watering lawns or anything like that yet, but if that water level dropped to the 1.5 year mark, that's when you'd have no watering lawns, no washing cars, and a cap on your drinking water. Oh, we're not there yet down here, but that sucks to hear that Aurora has started enacting those. But yeah, the rest of March looks bone dry. I think on Thursday afternoon, it looks like there's going to be a cold front pushing through. But it doesn't look, at least at the moment, it doesn't look like there's any precipitation involved with it. And then we have a warm front that comes through on Saturday morning and pushes the temperatures back up into the 80s. Is it really? I thought it went Denver, Colorado Springs, then Aurora. But yeah, that also doesn't surprise me because Aurora has been expanding in recent years. Lots of construction up there. Well, I can tell you this. Even if I was to leave right now, there's no way I'd make it to Ohio in time for that chase. Um, I also did not know it was a slight risk tomorrow. I thought it was just marginal. Nope, nope, it is slight. That slight risk covers southern Indiana all the way through eastern Pennsylvania and northern Maryland. And it's just a 2% risk for tornadoes. It's not great chase country. Um, I almost feel that it's comparative to Dixie Alley because there's all those trees. So unless you have a drone, or you can find open farmland somewhere, which is very difficult to do up there, you're not really going to see much. Like honestly, if I was still a student at Penn State, I'd just chill in the meteorology building, up on the top floor, and just set up cameras on either side of the building, because that's really where you're going to have your best view. Yeah, for the record, I grew up in northern Baltimore County, Maryland. Uh, my first for my first 21 years were there. Um, so I'm used to a lot of the terrain in Maryland and West Virginia and Pennsylvania. It's so many trees, and then you got the mountains that are working against you. And you definitely don't want to go up into the mountains when it's thundering, because lightning is your number one killer in those situations. But if you were to just sit in your car on the top of Mount Nittany, you'd at least have a good view in a bunch of directions. But I mean, there really isn't a way to chase up there. The PA storm trackers, the Pennsylvania storm trackers, those guys are probably the guys to tune into tomorrow, because they're used to that environment up there and that terrain. So if anybody's going to see anything up there, it's going to be them. But I also hear Ryan Scholl is going to be in the Pittsburgh area tomorrow to chase. So, you know, I'd say he has an equally good of a chance to see something. Oh shoot. Okay. So Watch Duty just updated about 5 minutes ago. Still at 0% containment, and it's up to 1,927.6 acres. So it has grown about 800 acres since 2 hours ago. That's a pretty rapid spread, given how how calm the winds are, quote unquote. They're not calm. You have 20 to 30 mile per hour winds sustained, with gusts up to 45 today. But yeah, that's 400 acres an hour of expansion. That's happening pretty quickly. I'm definitely fearful for when the cold front pushes through this evening and overnight, because then the winds are really going to increase. This is just under 2,000 acres now. I'm gonna check Google Maps to see if oh. Looks like I had a selfie stick delivered today. Which I got that specifically for my my new DJI camera. So that I don't have to like brave the hail. I can just stick it out the window and point it at a tornado. Yeah, that's right. I was gonna see if I could access Penrose now. Penrose. Nope. They have closed that road and is remaining closed. Closed until March 23rd due to a crisis. I love that little detail from Google Maps. Oh, there's another fire. The 49 fire in Weld County near Colorado Road 49 and Colorado Road 22. Cody Wilson has been doing a good job of updating on all these fires in Colorado. It's Cody with a K. Thank you, Jacqueline. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. Yeah, this thing is blowing up. Greetings from the East Coast. Where on the East Coast are you, Jacqueline? Rhode Island. My cousin lives there. My cousin Alyssa. Yeah, it's like 2,000 miles from here. No, this is a full-blown wildfire, Amanda. This thing is rapidly expanding. I don't want to say rapidly, but it's expanding at a rate of about 400 acres an hour. There was an update 2 hours ago that said that this was just below 1,200 acres, and about 10 minutes ago there was a new update that said it was just below 2,000 acres. So it's about 400 acres an hour. And the problem is the winds are only going to be increasing through the night. We have a cold front that's going to push through at 8 or 9 o'clock tonight, and behind that cold front we're going to get stronger winds out of the northwest, which will start pushing this east and south. But right now the winds are sustained between 20 and 30 miles an hour with gusts up to 45. Those are going to increase as we get later on into the night. So unfortunately, it means that this is probably going to expand even more rapidly as that cold front pushes closer. But as of right now, it's as of now, it's still a little calm. High res reflectivity. Yeah, on radar Omega, this smoke plume is really starting to show up on reflectivity. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna stick this here, but that blue dot is where I am, and that green reflectivity, that's all wildfire smoke. Sorry, that was completely out of focus, but didn't want to move all my stuff around. Yeah, I'm gonna plug this phone in because it's been, oh, sorry. Don't want my phone to power down because then I won't have a streaming phone. Yep. Zoom in on these newer plumes that are going up. Oh, we've been live over 2 hours already. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna record on my GoPro now because the smoke is definitely getting a lot more expansive, especially in comparison to where it was earlier today. Problem is, I could see this from my back porch the past couple of days, and it was really making me nervous. But now that I know that it's not going to push into Colorado Springs, I think I'm sitting a little bit more easy, a little bit easier. Yeah. Can't wait to replace this this GoPro with the DJI Osmo. What happened to my battery's still good. Let's see if I can I zoom? No, that's slow-mo speed. Oh, that's right. Damn, this is useless. I didn't put the new card in there yet, so can't use that GoPro. Well, that's piss poor planning on my part. I will be right back. I gotta pay the repercussions of drinking all the water I've been drinking today. So, be right back. All right. Yeah, that's definitely not a good sign. It's all dark smoke right now. I wish I could get a lot closer, but they have this thing really cordoned off right now. A couple of legends in the chat. Yeah. Patrick does some awesome work in the field. John does incredible work out in the field. Got legends in the chat today. Yeah, I have been a little tempted to drive down the Penrose, but at this point, I don't think that it's going to be worth it because by the time I get down there, we're not going to have much daylight left. Holy smokes, literally. You had to say it. Wow. Trayvon Joseph, welcome to the chat. I didn't want to be the one to make that joke. I'm glad somebody else did. Oh boy. It's pretty chill here, as in like where you are, or just in the chat, because that's something we strive for on this channel, is to have a chill chat. Good vibes only sort of thing. Reed posted in Noble, Oklahoma, it hit 100 degrees today. That's crazy. It's March. It is March, and you typically don't see that type of heat, especially in Oklahoma, not until late May. Temperature has started to drop here. We are past peak heating, and the sun is starting to set behind the mountains right now. In the chat, yeah. Wait, Dallas is definitely Dallas cannot be chill right now. It's got to be so hot there right now. Every time I look back at the chat, the first thing I see is that holy smokes comment. Like that's why I keep geeking out over here. Man, I've been so jealous of so envious of everybody that's gotten out on those the Illinois chase, the Michigan chase. It's too far for me to go on a weekday now that I have a full-time job again. But it's great seeing everybody getting back out there and doing the damn thing, because it's been so long since we've had severe weather. It's, prior to the Union City, Michigan day, it had been about 5 months since we had seen anything severe. That whole, we often look towards second season to extend our chase days, and there was almost no second season last year. Yeah, so this is a wildfire. This is the 24 fire in southern Colorado. And the 24, I believe its name was derived from so this ignited along Highway 115 between mile markers 24 and 25. So I think that's where the 24 comes from, in 24 fire. But oftentimes with these fires, they're not named fires. They're just they're named after a reference point. I'm gonna. Yeah, so as of 16 minutes ago, this fire had 0% containment and had burned 1,927.6 acres, which is significant because 2 hours prior to that, the last update was that it had burned through 1,193 acres with 0% containment. So it grew about 800 acres in 2 hours. So it's 400 acres an hour. And right now the winds are still relatively calm compared to where they're going to be tonight. Between 8 and 9 p.m., we're looking at a cold front passing through. So as that cold front gets closer, the winds are really gonna pick up. Right now, the winds are out of the due west, but when that cold front pushes through, they'll shift to the northwest, which will push this fire farther south and east. Oh, they've got fire crews that have been on this thing since since it ignited on Thursday afternoon. Part of the effort that I saw from this morning was that they were igniting a controlled blaze along Highway 115 to cut off the dry fuels that this fire could access. So with burnt land ahead of the fire, it really pushes the fire in another direction, and it keeps it from jumping Highway 115, which I believe has been their ultimate goal since this ignited. I don't know enough about fires to comment on that. Let me look that up. Campaign fire meaning. Campaign fire is a large, complex, or high-priority wildfire that requires extensive resources, time, and strategic planning to control, often lasting for several days or weeks. So yeah, by that definition, it absolutely would be a campaign fire. Whiskey Omega, great to see ya. Thanks for jumping on stream today. For a campaign fire, multiple ground crews are often necessary. Rotating shifts day and night to help combat fires, create fire breaks and fire lines, and ensure smoldering embers are fully extinguished. In addition to ground crews, smoke jumpers may have to parachute into remote terrain to spearhead the initial fire suppression efforts. They're essential for creating fire lines in wildlands that normal ground crews cannot reach. I haven't heard of any fire jumpers or smoke jumpers, but I would not put it past I would not put it past Colorado to send people in like that. This is southwest of Fort Carson. So for reference, I'm looking southwest right now. But if I pan the camera over that way to my southeast, that's Fort Carson right there. So I'm just on the eastern fringe of Fort Carson. I really appreciate you you mentioning that term, Trayvon. I had no idea what a campaign fire was. I didn't even know the term existed. So I learned something new today thanks to you. I really appreciate you for that. Thanks, Jackie. You have a great night as well, and be safe. Hey, Savannah, great to see you. Northern Alberta. Uh, you know, I knew of a couple of fires in southern Alberta several years ago. So, uh, rewind back to 2012. I actually got married in Waterton, um, and literally 2 years after I got married there, Waterton Lakes National Park burnt down in a wildfire. Um, Ironically, I was going through a divorce at about the same time. Yeah, of course. You know, I was looking for news stories. There weren't a lot of updates, and there weren't a lot of pictures of what was going on. So I wanted to get out and get a camera on it, so that people had access to this story. Um, because it's actually pretty significant. We typically don't see wildfires this time of year, um, and for us to be pushing a 2,000 acre wildfire right now, it was crazy to me. So I definitely wanted to get eyes on it. And I wanted to offer another perspective to people that have been following this story closely. Um, hey, Peapod, great to see you. Yeah, they do. Those Canadian wildfires also, you'll have wildfires up in northern Alberta where the smoke will actually kick down into like the Maryland, Pennsylvania, and northeastern region. Um, a lot of times growing up, we'd have like gray and orange skies from that wildfire smoke thousands of miles away. Yeah, that's one of the things that you don't typically get wildfires in the UK because it's so humid and so moist there. It's kind of an island. Yeah, you have water on most sides of the UK, so it keeps the humidity around. It You typically don't see the dry conditions that we typically see out here. Um, Colorado is semi-arid, and it's just to the, where we're sitting right now is just to the northeast of the. It's not the Sahara Desert. It's the I can't think of the name of the freaking desert, which I have no excuse because I had a minor in geography, so I should know the name of this desert in the Southwest. But the desert Southwest is extremely arid, it's extremely dry. You very rarely see rainfall out there, let alone thunderstorms. Here it's semi-arid. We have long periods of dryness, and then we have long periods of precipitation. Um, but this year has been unseasonably dry. Uh, I don't think we've even had an inch of precipitation in this part of Colorado this year. Um, I know Colorado Springs had less than 20 inches of snow for the winter, and there's literally no snowpack in the mountains anymore. The Front Range is completely dry. There aren't any whitecaps anymore, which normal years will typically see those snow caps last into late June. So that not only impacts our climate for the year, but it also impacts our drinking water reserves. And unfortunately, this year it's going to knock us under 3 years of drinking water remaining, which is a dangerous place to be, because if that gets any lower, typically when it gets lower than 2 years or a year and a half, that's when you start seeing your water restrictions. And some places in Colorado have enacted water restrictions to where you can no longer water your lawn and you can no longer wash your car. Chihuahuan Desert ecoregion. That sounds about right. Sierra, that's it. That's it. Sierra Nevada. And the sun is officially behind the mountains, and the temperature has dropped 9 degrees. We're at 80 degrees even. I think we hit 89.1 at peak heating. So not quite a 90-degree day here, but some parts of Colorado did exceed that. Camped near Indianola, Texas last month. Oh wow. Yeah, last year was a really bad wildfire, brush fire year in like northern Texas and western Oklahoma and western Kansas. Let's see if there's an update on watch duty. I don't think there will be. Oh, yeah, there is. So as of 4 minutes ago, the fire is up to 1,927.6 acres with 0% containment. I really hope that we start getting precipitation in April. It is really concerning with how dry it's been this year. Let's see. Checking NIU. Looks like week 2 might be active with regard to supercells in the Del Rio, Texas region, and that goes northward into western Oklahoma and central Kansas. So that's definitely a good sign. Doesn't help us here, but Definitely gives a little bit optimistic for a more traditional storm chase. Yeah, the polar ice caps melting like crazy. That's definitely not helping situations globally. Yep. Yep. Temperatures dropping pretty rapidly here. 78 degrees now. We've dropped 12 well, yeah, it dropped about 12 degrees in the last hour. That's one good sign because that means those dew point depressions are decreasing. Let's see what Fort Carson says. If I can find it. Air temperature of 86 degrees, dew point of minus 12 degrees. So that's still a 98 degree depression, dew point depression. The winds are starting to shift. It still says west, but 260 degrees. It did say 270 earlier. Wind speed 20 miles per hour. So they're still on the weaker side, but those will be increasing with time. Let's see where that cold front is right now. All right. Let's see. I'm going to pull up a U.S. frontal map. No, that's not what I wanted to do. The good thing is there's been no northward motion on this. It's one of the things I was worried about, was that that it would push up closer to Colorado Springs, but seeing this up close and seeing that it's going from west to east definitely makes me a little bit more calm. I'll rest a little bit easier tonight knowing that it's not threatening us. I definitely can't answer that about any Air Force programs. I served in the Marines, so I was very far detached from a lot of those programs. But the one program that I did stay glued to throughout my time in the Marines was the reconnaissance aircraft program. And I've been like massive fan of the Hurricane Hunters my entire life. The one positive to take away from this is it's occurring in a largely uninhabited area, but there are still houses scattered about where these fires are. But these crews have been working day and night to protect those houses. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Except I wasn't overly fond of being in. It's a completely different mindset than the one I'm in right now, or to this day. Back then, I was hardly approachable. I was not a friendly person. I'm glad to be as distant from it now as I am, because yeah, it's a very stressful environment at all times, whether you're stateside or whether you're overseas. I deployed to Iraq in 2009 and Afghanistan in 2011. Honestly, that being deployed for that long and working 7 days a week, 14 hours a day, it burns you out. And the problem is you've signed a contract, so you don't have a way out. Yeah, thank you, Peapod. That means a lot. It feels like a whole lifetime ago, though. I got out in June of 2012 and haven't done anything military related since. So I've been able to refine my mindset and get into a better place emotionally, because it was tough. It was really tough. Being in the Marines is no joke. But the one thing that did stay with me all this time is that I have dedicated my life to service and to serving people. The Marines definitely set that up, but storm chasing offers that opportunity so often, especially when you're in the vicinity after a tornado has caused damage. You can, a lot of the times, be the first person on site and help people directly. Um, part of what I want to do this year, I want to get my first aid, CPR, and AED certifications, so that if I do witness something tragic like that, I can at least provide um, medical triage until emergency crews arrive. I, I I really feel like that should be standard throughout the community. That all of us should make the effort to getting those certifications, because you know a lot of times we're there. You know, it can be up to an hour before emergency crews arrive, and so that's an hour of time where um, people need aid, they need assistance, and sometimes need treatment. I definitely think it should be standard for the community to pursue those certifications. It really has been. I did not see this. I did not see this coming this year with us getting as little snow as we did. I, especially in at the end of November, we had a snowstorm in Colorado Springs where we picked up snowfall rates of 5 inches an hour at one point. We had 13 inches of snow in a 4-hour period. So I thought it was going to be an above average year for snowfall here, but after that storm, there's been hardly any snow in the region. Western Colorado has picked up some, but from what I understand, a lot of the ski resorts had to make most of their snow artificially. I also heard that they were using cloud seeding to encourage snowfall out there, but again, that only does so much. It's such a small amount. No, we did not, and that's a lot of the country, the Midwest and areas farther west. But California got all the rain. They had like 4 atmospheric river events that dumped an unseasonably high amount of rainfall there. Like I made note of this earlier. All of California is green now. Um, some of the satellite views I've seen, it doesn't look like California because half of it's desert-like and semi-arid. Um, but they're above average on their rainfall this year, and from what I understand, a lot of the droughts have been eliminated, and most of the water restrictions have been lifted. Yep. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep this going for at least 20-30 minutes, and then I'm probably going to call it once we lose daylight, because out here there aren't a lot of lights, so my phone's probably not going to pick it up. Um, plus the plus we probably won't be able to see as much smoke, because there will be a lot less lift, um, with the temperatures dropping as they have been. mean, you can definitely see that in these smoke plumes. They're not going up as high as they were, 2 hours ago. But yeah, honestly, I wanted to stream this because there's not a lot of news coverage of it, and it's also been a really long time since I've done a proper stream. Granted, this I just did direct to YouTube, which is why you don't have any of my overlays on screen. But yeah, I've missed streaming. I've missed going live for you guys. It's been so long. October was, yeah, late October when I did that Fort Stockton, Texas stream for that hailstorm. That's the last time I've had a proper stream. I did a test stream in December when it was snowing, but I really just wanted to test out my new overlays and test out the radar image on it. But yeah, it's been nice having this opportunity. It sucks that this is what we're covering. You definitely hate to see wildfires anywhere, but it's been nice to have a reason to go live again. I can't wait for severe weather to come back in a big way, because we're gonna be all over that this year. Granted, I have a full-time job now, so weekdays I won't be able to get out until after 3 p.m. To chase. So that'll limit me to western Nebraska, western Kansas, possibly the Oklahoma and Texas panhandles, and eastern Colorado. But any setup that falls on a weekend, you can bank on it that I'll be there, as long as it's within 1,000 miles. See, there's I'm glad there are people that use this stream in a constructive way. I'm glad that it helps emergency crews. I'm glad that it helps government crews. The one thing I always want to be able to do is serve the people. Ever since I got out of the Marines, I was looking for another way to do that, and getting into storm chasing has really helped to fulfill that. Thank you, Savannah. That means so much. I always want to find a way to give back, any way that I can. This community has been really good to me ever since I joined it. All the people that have come in and supported the stream, I'm grateful to all of you guys. I couldn't be out here doing this without you guys. Like, I wouldn't have a stream without you guys. Leave it at that. I really appreciate you guys for trusting me with going live and doing this thing. No, not everybody is, but I'm a firm believer in to each their own. everybody wants to live their life how they want to, and I support how just about everybody lives their lives. Some of us are just weather nerds. MD Media, great to see you. There's another content creator in chat. MD Media is. There's so many legends in the chat right now. I all you guys that are regularly in these storm chasing streams, we're all weather nerds. We love this stuff. I mean, we don't love wildfires, obviously, but we love severe weather. And, unfortunately, this does kind of fall under that category. This is a pretty extreme situation. There's a wildfire in March when we typically don't see them, at least not here. MD, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. But the amount of support that I've found from you guys over the past couple of years is more support than I've had in my entire life. Family excluded, obviously, because family is there for you. But like outside of family, like this is the most support I've ever had in my entire life doing anything. I'm so grateful to all you guys. Oh my gosh, yeah, so much family. Seriously, if I'm ever nearby you guys, I mean, please come say hi. I would love to meet every last one of you guys. You guys have been supporting me the last 2 years. It's been amazing. My heart is full, and I would be so grateful to meet every last one of you guys. I know a lot of my peers in the community are like, stay away from me when I'm out in the field. I totally get that, but like, if I'm ever around and you guys are close by, I would love to see you guys. If you keep commenting stuff like that, I'm going to start tearing up. I am a pretty emotional person, especially if I've done something stupid. I don't know if you guys remember last year, May 18th last year, for the Grinnell tornado. I almost got hit by it, and I was just crying. I was crying on stream. Like I couldn't help myself. But yeah, I'm a pretty emotional person, and just this overwhelming feeling of support from you guys has just meant the absolute world to me. When I think about it when I'm not on stream, I definitely let those tears go. They the water works all night. That was probably the most scared I have ever been in any situation. Like, but I did a lot of stupid things that day. I was driving on balding tires. Those tires needed to be replaced 10,000 miles prior. I was still riding the stock tires at almost 60,000 miles. Yeah, I mean, everybody makes mistakes. Some people make those mistakes on camera. And it wasn't my first close call with a tornado either. So Grinnell was an EF3 and it destroyed half the town. Prior to that, in 2014, when I was just getting started with storm chasing, in Wilson, North Carolina, I almost got hit by another EF3. It was rain wrapped, and I didn't know it was on me until there were branches flying in the air around me. So, 2 close calls with EF3s, and fortunately, those have been the strongest tornadoes that I've seen. But I know if I keep going down this path, which I absolutely intend to, that I'm going to see stronger tornadoes. It's inevitable. But yeah, no, I definitely make a lot of mistakes. But the thing that you got to keep in mind when you make those mistakes, those are also learning experiences. You learn you learn by doing what not to do. You make. I had a bunch of stupid choices that went into that chase in Grinnell. The roads also, like I pushed a dirt road into pouring down rain, and you don't want to be on a dirt road in those conditions because the roads get really muddy. I had about 100 pounds of mud caked up in my wheel wells and underneath my car. Like, and because my tires were balding, I was only able to go about 5 miles an hour to try and escape it. That thing passed, between 30 and 50 yards behind me, which, that could have ended extremely badly. Fortunately, it didn't, and I learned so much from that. Now I'm rocking the same tires that Connor Croft has, the Falken Wild Peak all-terrain tires. And this time I'm gonna go about like 35,000, maybe 40,000 miles on them, and then change them. So I'll probably have these tires for all of this year, and then beginning of next year I'll change them out again. I gotta change my chat settings. All messages. There we go. But yeah, we're down at 76 degrees now. Temperature's fallen 14 degrees in the last hour. The daylight's probably going to hang around for another hour, but the sun disappeared behind the mountains about 20 minutes ago. It's gotten a lot darker. Here, let me zoom out just a little bit because it is actually starting to clear up to the east of where this fire is going. But those plumes are definitely a lot closer to the ground now. You don't have that heat that's able to bring that smoke cloud up higher. And I'm sure as as the temperature continues to drop, that those plumes are going to get lower and lower to the surface. I am curious to see if they probably haven't opened up this Highway 115. Yeah, they haven't. Happy Apple Farm on the northeast side of Penrose. That's where they've blocked off the highway. Curious to see if Cody's posted another update. Hmm. It looks like severe season should be kicking off in early April, especially in the Central Plains and the Midwest. Um, I'm not seeing any updates on Twitter. Let's see about that group chat. Pan this over a little bit. You're just north of this smoke. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm just north of it too. Maybe what am I, like 7 or 8 miles from the actual fire? This ridge out ahead definitely it isn't allowing me to see the flames, and I can't get any closer. I'm like a tenth of a mile away from where the road is completely blocked off, the highway, and there's no other way there unless I drive all the way around down 25 and back west to Penrose. But even then, I don't think I'd be able to see anything because it's a heavily wooded area. There's not a lot of clearings in Penrose. So I really think that this is the most optimal viewing location right now, given the road closures. But yeah, I appreciate you for jumping in here, Luffy. It is definitely I'm definitely safe here. Yeah, if we were if the winds were out of the south right now, it would be a different story entirely. But even then, it's still several miles away, and um, I'd have a lot of time to react if I was in the line of fire, so to speak. Better than watching war streams. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of the video of that today. I definitely needed this distraction. Check out this punch buggy. Oh. Oh. That's a beautiful car. That looks like a Model T. Completely restored Model T. That's not something you see every day. So what I'm thinking is going on here is that we no longer have the tankers dropping water on these blade or this fire. I'm sure that's standard protocol with with the being sunset and visibility being reduced. You definitely it would be a little dangerous for them to continue those operations, especially how they drop altitude right over this fire, dump their water. Let me see. Storm Chaser Nick on Twitter is absolutely hysterical. He's so damn quick with these memes. Oh, looks like they have been flying helos to dump water. I'm sure those operations will continue into the night, but those tanker aircraft probably not. That's your neighbor's car? Wait. Wait, am I in your neighborhood? He did kind of look like ZZ Top. Oh, it was the beard, that long white beard that got me. Yeah, I'm probably going to lose visibility of this within the next 20 minutes as the sun finally sets. Typically lose all our daylight before 8. That I'm in your neighborhood. That's crazy. I'm literally parked in the church parking lot down the street from you. That is crazy. What a small world. I guess that's bound to happen. You know, anytime I go storm chasing, I'm going to be in somebody's backyard, but I wasn't expecting that today. Look to my right. Like in the I've got a Kia Soul parked to the right. Like I've got people in this Kia Soul to the right. Oh god, my window's nasty. Don't look at that. Yeah, obviously I need to give my car a wash. As long as there's no restrictions against that, I'm gonna get it washed here in the next day or so. Probably tomorrow. Hmm. Weld County is on fire. That's northern Colorado. So the Weld County fire just started this afternoon. See, the Colorado Chasers group chat on Twitter has gone silent. I think most of them have called it a day. I'm gonna go until it gets dark to a point where I can't see the smoke anymore, and then I'm gonna wrap. I'm gonna step outside real quick. He said look to the right. I mean, there's only a handful of houses in this community, so you're probably within 100 yards of me. All right, let's see about that. See about that dew point. The Cannon City has a air temperature of 77 degrees and a dew point of 10 degrees, so that's not as bad. It's still pretty bad, but and then the Fort Carson station has an air temperature of 81 degrees and a dew point of -7, so that's still a pretty steep difference. What is that actually? So 7 divided by 88. No, 88. Yeah, that's 8% relative humidity. That's bad. Is bone dry. (313.8 Kelvin from satellite. T-note. There's an error of 2/3 of a mile. Yeah, I mean, error of 2/3 of a mile, that's not much. That is pretty damn accurate. Did anybody catch the aurora the past few nights? Apparently, what was it, 2 nights ago? It peaked at a G3 intensity. I know Hunter Fowkes. He was able to get some pretty stunning images north of Cheyenne, Wyoming. All right, Jay Hunt, really appreciate you being here. Thanks for stopping in, and hope you have a great night. Yeah, so I'm not really seeing it on reflectivity that much anymore. Again, with that smoke being pushed down closer to the surface with the dropping temperatures, it's really not showing up on reflectivity much anymore. Most of it is staying below the radar beam. But yeah, I think I'm gonna give it about, say, about 10 more minutes, and then I'll probably call it. That's not bad. There's only a thank God I can say it. There's only about a 6 or 7 second delay between live and what's streaming. So I hate 6-7. I hate it. But as long as people keep embracing it, I'll support it. I mean, you can't even sit through one of Brady's streams without 6-7 being spammed in the chat. 2% contained. 321 name current. I see. I missed the whole push for 21, but maybe it's because I'm old. All right, let's see what Watch Duty says. Yeah, 33 minutes ago, there was an update, but it hadn't grown much, which is definitely a good thing. We don't want this growing anymore. We want it to stay in place, and we want fire crews to be able to start containing it. Let's see if there's any news stories. Three hours ago was the last one. Yep. Let's see. Fremont County Sheriff's Office in Colorado. Oh, they posted an update at 9:30 a.m. and that's the last one they had. Pre-evacuation warning has been issued for Highway 115 Sandy Creek Ranch Heights per El Paso County Sheriff's Office. So this is actually where I'm sitting right now. Which likely means that I'll need to vacate soon anyway. Oh yeah, I can see that glow on the right-hand side there too. Yeah, I'm actually going to zoom in on that a little bit. Oh, so I'm in Rock Creek. I don't know this area very well, so I oh man, what just happened? Oh gosh. Don't get blurry. There we go. Yeah, there's definitely that glow on the right-hand side there. Let me, there we go. Oh yeah, see my focus is starting to go out. Let me just make sure. Oh yeah, you're right. I'm in Rock Creek. Oh, okay, okay. So I'm actually not in a bad spot. It's crazy how the light comes into this stream. Uh, the stream it makes it look so much brighter out than it actually is. It's pretty damn dark. Wait, there's a fire ongoing behind me now? Hold up. It's got to be on the other side of this mountain. Yeah, apparently there's a fire on the other side of this mountain right now. So if I make a right down this street, I make my first right and then my first left. It's not on the other side of this mountain. It's half a mile away. That can't be right. I don't see any smoke anywhere. It said that there was a says that there's a oh sorry there's a Southwest Highway 115 fire, or maybe that's, nope, that's a fire department. That that is a fire department. We have two fires on Fort Carson right now. Obviously, this one up ahead. Oh yeah, and there's a smaller one to the south of this. I definitely startled myself with that. There was like a little red pin on Google Maps that said Southwest Highway 115 fire. It's a fire department, not an actual fire going. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I should have taken a moment longer before I reacted to that. That I was looking for smoke behind me. I'm sure if there was actually a fire there that I would have seen it. So right after it started. But it's comforting to know that there's a fire department there and not an actual fire. Yeah, I'm gonna zoom out because it's starting to blur quite a bit. I think my phone's just going out of focus because we've lost most of our daylight. Yeah, I can't even adjust the focus. Oh, lighting on. Interesting. Oh, nope, not that. Don't need that. Uh, now I'm just fidgeting with stuff. I don't need retouch. I think that's about all I can do. But yeah, as I zoom in, it's starting to get really pixelated because of the lack of light. But yeah, it's almost 8 o'clock, and that light in the sky is going to disappear within the next 10 minutes. It is beautiful out here. Uh, love Colorado for that. I can't stand when there's wildfires because that's the worst thing. Uh, the damage that wildfires do to residences and property, it makes tornadoes look tame. Um, for the Marshall Fire back in December of 2021, um, it actually stopped right across the street from where I was working at the time at the Sovos Brands corporate headquarters in Louisville. There was a community of houses across the street from that building. There's probably about 500 houses there. At the end of the fire, there was only one remaining. And there was so much rubble that was overturned and foundations that were damaged and just otherworldly type damage. Like I've never seen that type of damage with a tornado. Hey Chappie, great to see you, man. Yeah, this is the 24 fire. I think it got its name because it's on it ignited between mile marker 24 and 25 on Highway 115. I'm sitting at mile marker 29. So I'm several miles away from this, but I can't get any closer. The rest of Highway 115 has been blocked off and closed all the way down to Penrose. I thought about going to Penrose earlier to watch the tankers grab their water to be dumped on this fire, but from what I understand, the view there is actually worse because of all the trees and because of all the ridges and whatnot in between Penrose and the fire. So I ended up settling on this location. Actually, what I'm going to do, since the glow is behind that water tower, I'm going to go to the other side of this parking lot again and see if I can get a better view of that glow. I know. Oh yeah, you can definitely see that glow. Yeah. Here, I'm gonna zoom in on that since I have a little bit of lighting over here, but you can definitely see the glow over there. No, down here in Colorado Springs, we had less than 20 inches of snow for the entire winter, which we typically see anywhere between 90 and 100 inches. That's a massive drought. And then on top of that, since the temperature warmed back up, we haven't been getting any rain. I think we had about 1/10 of an inch of rain maybe 3 weeks ago. It was just one day and we got some thunderstorms, but that didn't even put a dent in our drought. So I'm definitely fearful for what the rest of this year looks like, especially when we have our high wind events. It's actually quite frequent that we see wind events where the winds top 100 miles per hour. Now, it was one of those days that that started the Marshall Fire, which was out in several hours, but it did a remarkable amount of damage. That day, I believe winds were gusting over 110 miles per hour, if I'm not mistaken. And that wind lasted several hours, and that fire was racing faster than I can even run. But it seems like those types of wind events, we get those, once every month or two. We've already had 2 of those events this year. We had one at the end of January, and we had another in mid-February. Hopefully we won't have another one of those anytime soon, but that's probably more along the lines of wishful thinking. But yeah, that glow seems to have disappeared. I'm not picking it up anymore. It's also, it may also be because I've lost so much daylight. Like, I'm hardly able to pick up the smoke now. So I don't run anymore either. But I'm talking about back in my prime when I was able to run a 4.740. Even then, like, that fire would have outran me. Yeah, I'm gonna turn off this lighting. Yeah, see, that's how dark it actually is. You definitely can't see anything. and putting the lighting on, you really still can't see anything. You'd see like an outline of that smoke plume, and that's about it. But yeah, think we've reached a point where we got to cut it off because can't really see much anything anymore. That glow's disappeared, so I'm hoping that with that glow disappearing, I'm hoping that means that the firefighters are getting control of that area. Obviously, if something crazy happens later, I'll go live again. But as of right now, I can't see anything. I can't pick up anything on camera, so the chat yells, "Why can't we see?" Exactly. Yeah, I can't see anything. I can't even see anything, visually. So the phone was kind of on its last leg. But yeah, turn on my wipers. Do I have? That did nothing. that didn't help at all. Oh my god. Opposite of storm chasing nonsense. Oh my gosh. And this is the part that I missed most about streaming is getting everybody together and having these laughs. Like it's been way too long. I think this year, especially come winter time, I'm gonna start doing the snow coverage. The whole reason why I haven't been doing it is because I've been very fearful of becoming a statistic and getting stuck, and seeing other people get stuck. Even though I've been chasing since 2014, I do consider myself less experienced than Connor. Connor has been on point for several years in a row, and I still have a ways to go to get on his level. But yeah, seeing Connor get stuck in the snow just the other day, that type of thing makes me nervous about going out and covering blizzards and stuff, because even with his level of experience, he's still getting into those situations, and I just don't want to subject myself to that situation. But you're right, Chappie. Hobbs got stuck. Hobbs was driving. That's fair. I'm sure if Connor was driving, that probably wouldn't have happened. But what was that? Yeah. I'll still probably make it a thing to go out during the winter, because having that long of a break from streaming, like October through now, that's too long. I'm honestly surprised that my channel didn't become demonetized because of that. But that's not a key point as to why I want to pick up winter events. I could care less if my stream is monetized. I just do it for the experience, and I do it to offer alternate perspectives. That's it. I just want to give you guys an extra angle to watch these storms from. So, whether my stream's monetized or not, I could care less. Because because I don't do it for that. I do it for the whole experience, and I do it for you guys, and I love getting together with you guys on these streams. But right on. I'm gonna flip it. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in today. It's been a long time, and I'm glad to finally do it again. Depending on how this fire evolves overnight, I might be back out here tomorrow doing it again. But until then, I'm just gonna wrap it, and thank you all. Thank you all so much for being here, and look forward to seeing you guys again soon. You know, have a great night, and everybody be safe. Peace.